What's going on, NM crew? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be tearing apart this 6-liter LS platform motor out of a truck engine, and we're going to just dive right in. Let's do it. Yeehaw! Alright guys, I'm going to try and break this down, all jokes aside. I know I got the American flag hat with the American motor right here. It's just all fitting. So all jokes aside, we're going to actually break down this video probably into 3 parts. I'm going to do a quick breakdown in terms of the sizes for all the nuts and bolts on the front portion of the engine that we're going to be taking everything apart. It's going to be the first thing that we take care of. That way you guys can get rid of the rest of the video. If you guys don't want to watch it, you don't have to, but at least you have a breakdown of the bolt sizes that you're going to need to actually take care of what we're going to dive into. Next, we're probably just going to move into a few time lapses in terms of breakdown of the motor, and then we'll probably finish off the video with what we have, what the motor came with, and what the overall plans are, what we need to buy, and what the goals are for this build. Before we dive in, I just want to say, I know there's a lot of craziness in the world going on right now. If you're stuck at home, you're quarantined, you're self-isolating, whatever the case may be, I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice, I guess. My hope is that if you're, again, at home, self-isolating, wherever you may be in the world, hopefully you can find some sort of outlet to kind of escape a little bit from what's going on right now. And in this case, this is my escape. So I'm super happy to be able to spend some time right now, film this video. Hopefully this video can be a little bit of an enjoyment for you, again, to hopefully escape. So hopefully you guys can find your little bit of your escape, something that you guys can go to and enjoy in this craziness that we have right now. But that being said, let's just dive right in, and we'll start with a breakdown of what sizes you're gonna need to get this engine torn down. Let's do it. Alright guys, so let's start with the breakdown of what sizes you're going to need to kind of tear this motor down. Now, I'm going to apologize in advance if I miss anything. I'm only going to be doing a partial breakdown in this video, so I may miss a few things. It also is my first time working on an engine, this type and style of engine, so I haven't worked on the LS platform before. I'm actually used to working on the Datsun motor, which is a JDM inline 6, completely different than what we're working on here. The Datsun engine is definitely a lot older. LS platform, but this one specifically, is a lot newer. If you guys are new to the channel, we mainly worked on the Datsun behind me, but we are now moving on to a different, little bit different than we're used to. And this actually won't be going in the Datsun, it's going to be going into an old Volvo 240 project that I'm starting. But let's get into the actual breakdown in terms of the bolts. We'll start at the top, we'll move our way down. So with the intake, actually, before we do that, I want to say there's 3 main sizes that I can tell that are going to be your best friend. 8 mil, 10 mil, which we all know we love and hate at the same time, and 15 mil. So the intake is 8 mil. There's 10 bolts, 5 on each side, and then you should be able to get the intake off. Obviously you're going to have some wiring, fuel lines, things like that you're going to have to disconnect. Next we'll go to valve covers. Valve covers are 8 mils, and there is 4 on each side. Other than that, I don't believe there's too many 8 mils left over. Could be some small maybe grounds here and there, but this actually we've already taken off, so the intake can come right off, which is perfect. In this case, we'll move on to the front portion of the engine, which is going to consist of mostly 10 mils and 15 mils. The 10 mils that I can see are mostly your water pump housing and assembly here. There is 6 10 mils in total, 3 on one side, 3 on the other, and there is 2 10 mils to hold on your housing cap here, for which will most likely, I believe, is your thermostat. Other than that, everything else is most likely going to be 15s, and I'll kind of run you through what I found so far. So the alternator bracket up here, there's 2, those are 15s. We have the actual main bracket that kind of bolts on your kind of all accessories on this one side here. So your alternator, your power steering housing, all those seem to be 15s. Other than that, there are 3 bolts that hold on a bracket that goes onto the block for your AC, and those are 15 as well. I mean, most of everything else seems to be 15 in terms of the front accessories. Once we get behind, I believe the front cover are 10 mils, if I can get my 10 mil in here. Yep, they're 10 mils. Don't know how many bolts they are, but we will get to that. So again, some things I will be missing because I don't know until we actually dive in. But we're only gonna be taking off a certain portion. So today we're not gonna be doing full in depth like I said. And then the valley cover, I got all my sizes here just because, again, I don't know. Valley cover are 13, and there is 11 of them. So those are the most of what you're gonna need. As we kind of go through and I tear down and I get through other sizes, I'll let you know, but most of the time, if you got an 8 mil, you got a 13, you got a 10, and a 15, you should be fairly well off to get this motor going. Let me just double check the exhaust manifolds here because these will be coming off today. And that is a 13 as well. All right, so we're just gonna actually dive in, start tearing things apart because I love just taking some time and doing some wrenching. So let's dive right in. If I get into and see any one-off little things here and there, I will let you guys know. Stop the camera and, or I guess start the camera and let you know. This should be interesting for sure. We'll do a time lapse, and then again, any little things that I run into. If I do run into anything, I'll let you know. Oh, and this front tensioner is a 15. So that as well. So, I mean, again, most things are gonna be your 8, 10, 13, and 15. Let's break it down. All right, well, that didn't really last long before I got one quick tip and then a little issue that I ran into. Quick tip is to take some pictures of kind of the layout of everything. That way, when you're putting everything back together, you have a better or rough idea of how it needs to go back together. One other thing is there's these 2 oil lines that come up. I don't know what they connect to because again, I didn't take this engine out of the car. I picked it up like this. And of course they were tucked behind the belt. I removed the belt off. I started letting them hang and of course oil everywhere. So I'm gonna try and disconnect those lines first. And then we'll continue. Alright guys, we pretty much got all the front accessories cleared off. There's a few bolts that go into the AC condenser, compressor, whatever the hell it's called, that were stripped. So we may have to fix some of those threads. I will actually be going through and chasing most of these threads with a tap, just to make sure that everything's fresh when it goes back on. So you won't be seeing that in this video, but I'm gonna kind of do it behind the scenes. So that way, at least when we get everything kind of put back together, it should be good. The front valley cover here, as you can see, it has these extra, the VVT. So this extra unit here with the wiring. I'm actually going to be deleting that, so we won't have to worry about that. So I'll be buying a delete kit. Pretty much comes with a new front cover, and obviously you have to run a different cam if you're going to be doing that, as well as sprocket. So that will be coming down the line. What's going to be left for this video is taking off all of the coil packs, all the brackets, because we're going to be setting aside those, cleaning them. We may sandblast them depending on if I can get access to one of those little unit things. We'll see what happens, and then we're gonna take the exhaust manifolds off. So that's probably where we're gonna finish off. I'm also gonna take some time to kind of clean up these areas and just cover them up with some tape. That way no dust, debris can get inside the engine. Other than that, that's probably where we're gonna stop. Like I said, we're gonna take the engine mounts off too, because those we're gonna be making custom mounts. Those can get out of there. The drain plug is a 15 mil that I found. Everything else was pretty straightforward. Those lines that go into the block right over here that I showed you, those are two 10 mils. Don't know what those lines go to, but whatever. Other than that, we'll probably not do too much further, because I want to do a leak down test, which will probably happen in the next video. I'll run you guys through the purpose of a leak down test, why we do it, and kind of little tips and tricks while you're doing it to kind of figure out exactly, if you do have excessive leak down, where where to figure out where your issue is. Is it in the cylinder head? Is it the exhaust valve? Is it the intake side? Is it the actual rings? Is it the block somewhere? So we'll kind of go through that. But let's just put you guys back up on the stand. We'll finish off, wrap up this time lapse here, and then we'll kind of do a quick breakdown of what we have and then what we're gonna go with the build, which I kind of touched on a little bit, but we'll go into like a quick 2-minute segment of what we are gonna be kind of planning out and what we're hoping for with this engine build. All right guys, we made some decent progress and got the engine stripped down quite a bit. Again, the reason why I didn't go further is because I do want to do a leak down test, which will be coming up in a couple videos from now, hopefully, and we'll run you through that. Now we're just gonna take 2 minutes just to go over what the plans are for this motor. So it is gonna be a complete, I can't speak today. It's going to be naturally aspirated. We're aiming for about 300. Something is wrong with my head. Oh my gosh. We're aiming for about 400, 450 wheel horsepower with this. Again, this is out of a 2010. It's a 6 liter. They usually, from the factory, say that they got 360 horsepower at the crank. So we'll be definitely needing to beef it up just a little bit. We are gonna try and run this on a complete standalone ECU. just for ease of installation and making it work, we are going to be doing a cam, some valve train stuff. The cylinder heads will be getting ported, polished, hopefully. But the block we're not going to be tearing into, so it's going to be completely stock block, unless we figure out some issues when we do the leak down test. This was a running and driving motor. I did actually see it running. So it seemed to be running perfect, no issues. Again, around 210,000 kilometers on it. Everything so far seems to come off fairly good. There's no signs to me that it was definitely abused. There is a couple things though. I see all this lettering and writing in yellow, which maybe means that it was a junkyard motor at one point in time, and this was, or it was rebuilt by a shop, and that's kind of how they tagged everything. So could be a rebuilt motor at some point, could be a junkyard motor at some point, I don't know. But we're going to be doing, again, cams, valve train, injectors. We'll have to definitely do fuel pump and fuel system on the Volvo. But other than that, we're going to spend a lot of time cleaning it up. So complete new gasket kit for the engine. We're going to be sticking with this intake. Hopefully it clears the Volvo's hood. If not, we can always do some cutting. But no, if it doesn't fit, we'll probably end up going a different route. Obviously different valve body because, or throttle body, because we're going to be going with a drive-by cable setup, so that is going to be different than the drive-by-wire throttle body that's on here right now. We're going to be keeping it automatic, just because the Volvo's automatic as well. I do have a pedal assembly for the Volvo to make it manual, but that maybe will be for another day. But right now, I'm thinking of keeping it automatic, and it's probably going to be a TH400. Keep it simple, no electronic control on it. Want to kind of keep it maybe manual valve body, so I still have to kind of go and shift through the gears. It is kind of going to be my daily driver, so I haven't decided yet, but I also do want to put this on the drag strip. So again, 400, 450 wheel, fairly stock. It's just going to be simple cam, fuel, standalone with the tune, and then we'll see what power we can get out of it. The head work is hopefully going to be where we get, and the cam is where we're going to get most of the power. But I'm actually want to take a moment before I close off this video just to ask you guys for some tips and pointers, because again, like I mentioned earlier, this is not something that I normally do, or in terms of the engine platform. So if you are familiar with it and have some tips and tricks or some known kind of failure points or issues with these motors, or something when you're kind of stripping it down this far, like things that you should definitely do, whether it be like an oil pump upgrade, I don't know, you can kind of let me know. There will be 100% brand new gasket kit on the full motor, and we'll be changing absolutely everything that we can. That way it's fresh, it's new, and again, we'll be deleting the variable valve timing as I mentioned earlier. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay safe. Again, hopefully you guys can find an outlet to kind of get away and escape from all the craziness. But we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and stay classy, crew.